Hey, what's going on, guys? Chris here from DIYsavecash E66.com. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to fix your air conditioning if it is not blowing out cold air, or I mean just blowing out in general. Now, I do have a video that I've already made, is because what happened was back in the day, this was like 4 years ago, I had a really terrible squeaking coming out of my air conditioning when my air conditioning was on. I would crank it up and the bearing would spin faster and faster, and the sound would go away. But when I had it like really low, it would go like squeak, 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 squeak. Anyway, if you're interested in that video, that is one of my first videos that I've made for this channel. Now this is, see, the air conditioning is on right now, 60 degrees here, but it's not blowing any air. Now if I turn it up, right, you might be able to feel a little something coming out, but there is no air coming out of the air conditioning, right? So this is going to be a blower motor issue. And so it has finally gone out. The same blower motor that I fixed the squeak on has finally gone out, either a seized bearing or something like that. Now what happened was, I was coming home from church, air conditioning was cranked up, it was a hot day. All of a sudden, it just stops blowing cold air, and I'm like, oh no, my air conditioning went out, hasn't been back ever since. Every once in a while, you'll feel a little cool air coming out, but nothing is blowing out constantly, no matter how high you crank it up and everything like that. So my part has come. I'm gonna take out the old blower motor with resistor. I bought a 2-for-1 with the resistor already on the blower motor. Now to save money, you can test your resistor to see if it's still good with a multimeter and just put in a new blower motor, and that would save you money instead of buying the resistor and the blower motor. I'll show you guys the resistor and the blower motor. It's two separate parts but connected together when you bring it down. Now I will be using the old footage because it is good footage. I will try to edit it a little bit better. I do smack a lot. Again, this was like 4 years ago, and the quality isn't as good as obviously this camera here, but it definitely shows you the job, and it will save me a little time because I do need to be somewhere later on tonight, and I don't have time to film everything all over again. It is good footage, so we'll go ahead and use that footage. All right, so we're on the passenger side of the car, and we have to get to the fan blower, the fan motor fan. That's where our squeak is coming from. And what we're going to do here is, again, this is the passenger floor here. Okay, for this piece right here, your glove box is right above you. Go underneath here by this little light. You're going to see a little speaker here. You want to take out this bolt right here. 1. Number 2. You want to come over here to number 3. Number 4. And then all the way over here up top, number 5, right there. Okay, don't worry about the other ones right above them. Just concentrate on those 5 bolts I just pointed to, and that drops it down. And now we're going to pull this little section down here, and that should just slide right out. Comes down right there, and again, this is just the bottom section of the thing. There's our speaker there we're going to disconnect. Alright, here, this is how we disconnect the speaker. We carefully unplug that. Make sure you don't damage it. Just grab it by your fingertips, very, very carefully with needle nose pliers. Pop that out. If you want to get rid of that light, or if that helps you, that's how you disconnect. Pull that black one out of that piece right there. This little black thing right there. Pull that out to disconnect the light. Alright, so I got my speaker wire hanging right there. Disconnected from there. I'm going to leave the light in. And just kind of overall looking at this piece, you can pull this piece completely out if you want. I'm going to leave it in because I like that light. Now the next piece is right up here, and we have our fan and resistor behind this wall and this wall here. Alright, we need to pull that screw out, which I've already unloosened. We're going to pull that screw out, just one screw there, and then the easiest thing to do is grab it up here. Okay, you're going to pull it out gently, and then what you want to do is you want to jimmy it down a little bit, and just be careful with it. You pretty much just want to get access to that plug right there where my thumb is. Alright, now we need to disconnect this wire here, and I already did. So what I did is right on the edge right here, both sides, there's little prongs. You're going to push them in with your fingers and pull it down. Okay, make sure those prongs are engaged. Pull it straight down. That's going to loosen this guy here. We're going to get that out of the way. Okay, a couple tricks of the trade. This thing's gonna get in the way. You can either drop it down, or what I did is that you just carefully unhinge it, and there's a couple little hooks right here and back here, and just carefully unhinge it. And then what I did here is I just set it right there. So it just unhooks. Just be gentle with it. It unhooks, you know, little simple hinges there. And then there's a little pad for sound. I just went ahead and pulled that down. Just make sure you know the proper place to put it back when you put everything back in order here. And then there's going to be, right here, there's going to be another plug that's on the back of this right here. That's your 12-volt thing. There's a little plug, so you want to loosen that up as well. Real simple. Just get those plugs dangling freely. And then you're going to work on all the screws here. I'm going to tell you how many screws there are, and we're going to drop this black piece down right here. Okay, for some reason, if you do not have a T15, a number 3 Allen wrench, if you jam it in there, will work to loosen and tighten the screws. Just make sure that you don't strip them. Use a number 3. It's actually a good extension for some of these ones, because some of these ones are a little tricky if you don't have the right T-tool with the proper extension. Alright, let's go ahead and bring it on down. And just remember that that little slot right there is where that connector goes, that little white prong right there. So you're going to have to reconnect that back and the 12-volt thing. So this is the part that goes up into the car like that, where we just brought it down from. So let's flip it over. This is going to face you. It's going to face the passenger. And so let's see how many screws we have. We have 1 top left, top right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one was a pain in the butt right here. That's where your number 3 Allen wrench is going to come into play. Some of these slots are very deep. Okay, see how deep that is right there? Some of those T-torque screws can't really get up there that well, so that's where the Allen wrench comes into play. You got the right tools, this is a very easy job, but you can spend up to a half an hour trying to get these dumb screws out if you don't know how to do it right. My advice on this one and this one, use the Allen wrench, or really jam it in there really good, like on a thin screwdriver, T-torque T15 thing. And then this one right here, that's kind of a pain in the butt because that's shoved all the way in the corner there. When you pull down that little black covering with all those screws I just pointed out, that is your fan resistor right there. There's zoom there. So right here, there are little black tabs. You want to release those tabs back. That frees the resistor plastic so you can drop it down. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring it on down. Play with the black tabs and drop it on down. Let's get after it. Alright, the unit is out of the car here. Just make sure that those little tabs, those little plastic tabs right here, there's a little hook. You pull that to the side and then the whole thing drops down. So again, resistor, fan, and motor. Alright guys, out with the old, we're going to go in with the new right over here. And again, in the video you'll see me explain a little bit more about the resistor and the blower motor. But this is the resistor right here, easily takes apart, unlatch it right here with the wiring. There's your blower motor, there's your bearing inside there. I won't get it all into that in this video. That's a new one. Let's go ahead and slip it back into play. Alright guys, hopefully I'm in focus here, but I want to show you how freely that spins. This is the new part here, okay? What happened was, the reason why it wasn't blowing was because the bearing was seized up, and I actually had it twisted and it jolted pretty good and it loosened up. But what happened was that the bearing wasn't spinning, causing the blower motor to shoot air through the vent to reach me. Obviously, since I kind of twisted it and jarred at it, I mean, I could oil it up, put it back in there, but most likely it's probably on its last leg. I've already bought it, might as well. Now, what the good news is, guys, is that I actually can take off the resistor, resell the resistor as a used part on eBay. That will recoup some costs from the part that I just bought here. Anyway, just a little tip for you guys. All right, guys, so I do want to show you one thing here. Now, we have the new blower motor inserted, and the casing, plastic casing, is back up now, but I still have my trim board that is not installed yet. We'll take a look at how to put that back together from the old footage in just a second. There's my light. I still need to get the speaker back in and clip back in, slip back under, put those screws back in there. But before you do all that and you want to test it out first, let's go ahead and fire it up and see what we got, guys. And I already tested it, but I'm just going to show you guys on video. So now we're going to go ahead and click on the AC. AC is going to fire up, and it is working, ladies and gentlemen. It is blowing cold air. Obviously the wind is hitting the camera audio right there. We're looking absolutely fantastic. So what happened was, when I had the air conditioning again blasted on that hot day coming home from church, the bearing just seized, and after I looked at the new one again, it twisted just beautifully. The old one, I had to go kunk, and it was just definitely seized, and it's definitely not smooth sailing. So the bearing is what goes bad. Too bad you just couldn't pop some new bearings in. If you know what you're doing, that's probably obviously the cheapest route to go. But again, I got a good deal on my part. Here's the 12-volt thing hooked back up after installation. There's your padding back into place. Now we're just going to put this piece, we're going to rig it back up on there, snap it into play, and then bolt in our one screw right there. We already have our box back up top, that hooked back in, and we're good to go. Tools used for this job: we have a regular screwdriver, Phillips head. We have a socket. We have a T20. I think I, in the video, say T15 for those small gold bolts. It's actually a T20. My apologies. Number 3 Allen wrench for some of those deep ones. And then for some of those gold ones you'll see later in the video, I have a nice little kind of a socket wrench extender, so I can shove it up there in some of those tight reach hole area. I will list the parts down in the description box below, guys. Look below the video, click on the description box, push show more. All the parts will be listed there, where you can pick up those parts and get those for yourself so that you can get back up and running. Obviously, I know winter is here, but obviously, you know, if you're cranking up the heater, you need that blower motor for the heater as well. So this is a good fix to do before the winter season comes into play. Obviously, summer is now passing, but winter is upon us, guys. So thumbs the video up if it helped you guys. Hopefully it did. And again, Chris from DIYsavecash.com, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Alrighty, bye-bye now.